National debate. I'm Madhavdas G. Now, we saw this happen in Maharashtra a few years ago, and we're seeing it play out all over again in West Bengal. The TMC is facing an existential crisis. And at the moment, no one is able to answer one pertinent question: who is the real TMC? Many did not foresee the events that transpired through this week. A first-time MLA from the rebel faction of the TMC was named the leader of opposition. Mamta's own nominee lost out on the race for the post, and Mamta's nephew Abhishek Banerjee is not only facing the wrath of his own party's leaders, but is also facing legal heat over the alleged signature forgery row and a money laundering case. But it appears Mamta's woes don't end there. There's now a possibility of a split in TMC's parliamentary party as well. While none of the leaders have voiced out concerns against Mamta herself, it appears Abhishek Banerjee's functioning has increasingly frustrated a section of leaders within the party. So what lies ahead for Mamata Banerjee? Will she sideline her own nephew to rescue her party? And what does this mean for the future of her party and also the larger opposition bloc? Let's quickly, in fact, introduce our panel. We have with us Shehzad Poonawalla, national spokesperson of BJP. Dr. Shantanu Sen, former MP, is with us. Gargi Nandi Roy, political analyst, is with us. Mamata Chakrabarti, who's a political analyst, is also joining us. Manav Jaiswal is national spokesperson of TMC. Sanjay Jha, author, is with us. We also have Vivek Srivastav, political analyst, as well as Rashid Kidwai, who's a senior journalist, joining us. Now, it all began on the 4th of May, when the post-poll defeat triggered discontent over Abhishek Banerjee's rising influence, followed by the internal unease after Mamata Banerjee's remarks on May 6th that fueled the nepotism debate. By May 19th, tensions escalated as Rita Brata and Sandeepan questioned the party leadership. And over the next few days, the controversy deepened with meetings, allegations of forged signatures, and complaints reaching the speaker and police. The crisis intensified through May with CID questioning MLAs, an attack on Abhishek in Sonarpur, and poor attendance at a key meeting signaling weakening control. In early June, expulsions and counter moves further polarized the party before culminating on June 3rd when 58 MLAs backed Rita Brata Banerjee, leading to recognition of a new legislative bloc. What started as internal dissent ultimately evolved into a full-blown power struggle within the TMC. Let's take this right across to our guests, and my first question is to Manav Jaiswal. Manav Jaiswal, TMC is at a crossroads. What really will happen so far? And the question is, will Mamata Banerjee choose her nephew, or will she choose to retain or quell the dissent within her party by placating those who are currently rebelling?
Madhav, first of all, greetings to all the panelists and to the nation from your channel. Well, TMC is Mamata, Mamata is TMC. And the leaders who have, they've decided to side with someone, there are many of them have already outspoken currently in a couple of days, post the letter signing and everything. They've already shown their dissent. And leaders like Sangeeta Basniya, leader like Gulshan Malik, there are many other leaders who have already objected, and they said that we have got only one leader, and who is Mamata Banerjee. And they don't believe in any Rito Brotos, whoever it is. And time will tell, but we have to believe in the Constitution. And you could know that 11th of May 2023, when the Honorable Supreme Court had decided and actually given a judgment where they said the leader of the opposition should be chosen by the political party. It's the prerogative of the political party to choose the leader of the opposition, not the legislators by themselves. Whereas you could understand Rito Broto and Sandeepan Saha, there has been a lot of agitation against Sandeepan Saha in his own region.
No, but
and there's a BJP leader.
No, but let me just come back to that. Manav, you're saying with, just one second. Please hold on. Please hold on. Now, what you're saying, to the best of my knowledge, as far as our constitutional scheme is concerned, when a chief minister is selected, it's a group of legislators who elect who is their leader. That leader then becomes the chief minister of a particular state. Why should the same principle not apply for the LoP?
So, Madhav, I think you believe in Supreme Court, and I believe the BJP leaders also believe in the Supreme Court, don't they? Or they are about the constitutions. So, it is a judgment of the Supreme Court on the 11th of May 2023. That was happened in the Maharashtra Lotus, scam. The BJP Lotus scheme, scam, or operation, I don't know, whatever it is.
No, the point is, you can of course question the BJP, but the point is,
who is Mamata
the
Banerjee?
point is when an overwhelming
Banerjee
number of your legislators, select somebody else as LOP, which your party leadership does not want, that is something that is rather unprecedented. But nevertheless, Shahzad, I want you to come in on this. He says there are Supreme Court judgments, there are precedents in the case of Maharashtra, which prove otherwise. And this is something that is unacceptable. The party should be able to decide who the LOP is. Shahzad.
Madhav, if today I was your producer and I was supposed to make the trailer of today's show, I would say, जिसने भी भरा परिवारवाद का दम, उसकी पार्टी का खेला खत्म. This is the tagline of today's show. And Madhav, how many debates we have done that in the SON rise, sunrise के चक्कर में party SUN set, sunset happens. You have seen in Tamil Nadu, DMK has gone. You have seen NCP Sharad Pawar gone. You have seen UBT Sena gone. You have seen TMC gone. Today, let us analyze legally and politically. First of all, 50 to 60 MLAs are saying Janta is also rejecting Mamta. She has lost 2 elections. And Janta ka Pratinidhi is also rejecting Mamta. They are saying that why are you forging our signatures? They are still saying Mamta can be our advisor, but we don't want Bhatija. So they are saying Mamta Didi, you choose between party and Bhatija. Mamta Didi has Bhatija Mo. She does not have party Mo. Now coming to the legal point, Madhav, because you are covering law and courts from a very long time, some misunderstanding is there about the UBT Sena judgment. Because I have studied constitutional law, I'll explain to you. Of course, there is a question mark that who is the real party, legislative party or political party. This question arises at some point. But 2 things are very clear. One, the speaker will decide based on the circumstances. It is not automatic choice that political party will overweigh on this legislative party in a particular house, point number 1. And point number 2, you must also understand that the legislative party is actually a reflection of the democratic aspiration of the people. Whereas in our country, we are seeing that the constitution of the party is never followed. Political party is always a question mark that is the real person, the real leader.
Okay.
For instance, can Abhishek Banerjee, who's National General Secretary, take a call in the Vidhan Sabha of West Bengal?
Exactly.
He has no locus standi. He's a Lok Sabha MP.
Okay.
So therefore, this question mark has been left to the discretion of the speaker.
Yeah.
If you do not agree with the speaker, go challenge the question of the speaker. But the political question is, whenever you're calling the MLAs, not more than 10 are turning up, it means you're politically done and dusted.
Okay, let me bring in Rashid Kidwai on that note. Rashid Kidwai, you are in fact raising your hand when the previous speaker, in fact Manav Jaiswal, was speaking. What's the constitutional precedent? Because what appears at the moment is, it is really like the TMC is clutching at straws, because the support, the entire floor of support for TMC and Mamta Banerjee appears to have completely fallen through.
So, Madhav, law is very clear. The primary loyalty is to the party. So, therefore, a party has to split. Now, whenever it happens, legislator party, that's a part of it, but that's not legally recognized split. And that is why you have to go back to 1969, the Congress split, or 1977, all party splits. So, it's a kind of redux of what happened with Indira Gandhi and Sanjay Gandhi after 1977 defeat. Both were shown the door by the party, and they were expelled. Now, this has not happened in Trinamool Congress so far. So there is only the MLAs and MPs, they are flexing their muscle. You made a point about leader of the House. Yes, the constitutional position is that the House elects. But procedurally, Madhav, let me remind you, the letter goes from the party. Even President of India invites, Narendra Modi on the basis of a individual letter from various political parties that form part of NDA. Or in case of DK Shivkumar, the Congress legislator party sent a letter. So letter is very important. This is all grey areas. Various interpretations are there, but fundamentally, a split has to be in a political party.
I want Dr. Shantanu Sen, who's the only person who's actually sat in Parliament in this entire panel, as a parliamentarian, as a member of Parliament. Dr. Shantanu, where do you stand on this? Do the principles change when there it is the leader of opposition or the leader of the House? And is the party sanction, fundamental in recognizing who is the LOP?
Well, actually, when I was a member of Rajya Sabha, while working as a member of Rajya Sabha for 6 consecutive years, I think I have little bit of knowledge regarding this. Whenever there is an election, be it panchayat, be it assembly, be it parliament, be it municipality or corporation, party gives symbol to the candidate. And once the candidate wins that election from that particular political party, then the elected representatives sit together and they decide who will be the leader of the house, who will be the chief minister, who will be the leader of the opposition, who will be the chief whip, like this. And accordingly the decision is taken, and thereafter the party sends that along with the resolution to the chair, that is, it might be chairman or it might be speaker in case of legislative assembly. So far my knowledge goes, though I am not an MLA of this West Bengal, but so far I came to know from several newses, I came to know that yes, according to this procedure, after the election, the elected 80 MLAs, they tried to sit together under the leadership of the national chairperson of All India Trinamool Congress. They signed the attendance sheet, and thereafter regarding the resolution taken, there was some conflict, there was some confusion. What the confusion was, several MLAs said that I didn't attend that meeting, but my signature was put there. Several MLAs said that I didn't sign, but my signature has been done by someone else. And here lies the confusion, and based on this, two elected MLAs, they gave a complaint letter to the speaker.
Okay.
Accordingly, speaker clarified the same from the National General Secretary of All India Trinamool Congress. Now, in democracy, finally the number matters. As in the recently held assembly election, out of 294 assemblies, 208 seats were backed by Bharatiya Janata Party. So in the number game, they won the election. So they are the ruling party right now in our state of West Bengal.
Of course.
Similarly, out of 80 MLAs, nearly 60 MLAs once again sat together.
Yeah.
They raised their voice against
And
the
that fulfills the
process in which
two-third.
the earlier.
So you're saying they fulfill the two-third condition. That's what you're saying, right?
Consideration. And 60 out of 80 MLAs then sat together.
Okay.
And maintaining all the parliamentary procedure, legislative procedure.
Okay. Let me take that question across to Sanjay Jha. I got your point. Let me bring in Sanjay Jha. Sanjay Jha, even if we go by the, the rule of, parties being supreme, so on and so forth, if there are two-thirds of legislators who have actually split from the party, then obviously they're not going to attract the anti-defection law. So the argument from the other side is that if the 60 of these 80 legislators have crossed over, then where is the question of any kind of constitutional impropriety?
Madhav, good evening to you and to my panelists on the program. See, what is happening right now in West Bengal is not very different from what has happened in the other states where elections were lost by the opposition to the BJP. So there are two ways to look at it. One is internal, one is external. The internal is definitely an internecine crisis of the TMC. It's been a defeat to the BJP, and everyone was expecting that at least there will be a close fight. So this is emotionally devastating for the Trinamool Congress. Obviously, the party is disrupted. They have been empowered for a very long time. And we know in politics, unfortunately, that is the reality of Indian politics. Their power is a glue. The moment you lose power, suddenly you find that everyone is scattered and there is this desperate, shall we say, urge to be relevant. And the other problem is that the leadership is suffering from its own blown status in terms of its perceived earlier superiority, and they struggle to reconcile to the new reality that they have to be the opposition. Now, where the external fact is concerned is obviously the BJP itself, and you can't ignore that, right? I live in Maharashtra. I'm fully aware of how the BJP, I think the world knows, how both the NCP and the Uddhav Thackeray, earlier the former Shiv Sena as a united force, was broken in a systematic attack to divide both these parties, and now you have Devendra Fadnavis as the chief minister. So a lot of the problems in the TMC today in Kolkata has a subterranean engineering being done by the BJP, which would love to see the TMC demolished completely.
But Sanjay, aren't you contradicting yourself? In the case of West Bengal, you have admitted there was a leadership crisis. You have admitted that there is a fault line that runs deep within the TMC, because these are not issues that have started today. So if the BJP is coming in and is exploiting a fault line, it surely wouldn't be happening for the first time, would it?
Yeah, so that's my point, Madhav, that end of day, the BJP will be extremely passionately driven in its project, which we call it Operation Lotus or whatever, to completely blow into smithereens whatever is left of the TMC.
Okay, Gargi Nandirai. I want Gargi Nandirai to respond to that. Is the comparison between Maharashtra and West Bengal fair? Are the two states and the situation that we're looking at similar at all?
No. No, Madhav. Firstly, Madhav, thank you for inviting. See, what Sanjay Jha is saying, it is not what happened in Maharashtra. It cannot be applicable in West Bengal because the BJP has already won with 2/3 majority. They have 208 seats. So BJP doesn't need. Now, why is it happening? You have to understand one thing, in Bengali we have a saying, Dharmer call batashe nore. What they have sowed the seed, they're reaping the result. Now, why this shift? Obviously, they were disgruntled. The wrath of the people you are seeing in the road. Today also, I was just before coming to your channel, I was seeing in Nandigram, Shamshullah, he has been arrested by NIA. The locals are attacking him with eggs because of the public anger. You have to understand, Madhav, that last so many years, everybody suffered because of the syndicate culture and cut money culture. See, we know there are some thieves, there are some opportunists who try to get political shelter in all parties. But what has happened in last few years, all thieves, all opportunists came under one umbrella called TMC. And coming to Manav Jaiswal's point, the technicality of it. In India, in the Lok Sabha also, the speaker has to recognize the LoP. In Rajya Sabha, it is the chairperson. Now, what Manav Jaiswal quoted about the Supreme Court judgment. Suppose if your political party has the right to decide, fine. Abhishek Banerjee gave a letter to the speaker. But with that, he attached a resolution signed by people who are denying their presence and their signature is forged. So forging signatures in the assembly is a grave grave crime. You can
Vivek Srivastava, coming to you, since that's a pointed question for the TMC, I want Manav to respond to that because even Sandeepan Saha has said that signatures were forged and they believe that it was merely an attendance register. What does this show about Mamata Banerjee and Abhishek Banerjee's control? Vivek, just coming to you, 1 minute. Let Manav respond to that.
First of all, Madhav, I've got three areas of concern. First, Mr. Shantanu Sen had stated that he was the member of the parliament for 6 long years. Which party gave him those opportunity to become a member of the parliament? On whose letterhead did you go into? When the pro tem speaker was elected or selected, when the new government was about to be formed, when the governor asked the winning party, did he ask Shubhendu Adhikari to form the government? No. He asked the winning party. Then comes the pro tem speaker. Who did the pro tem speaker ask for the leader of the opposition? Name? To the party. Who gave the letter? The party. Who assigns the leader of the opposition? Party. Now you come to the leader of the assembly. When you call about the winning leader of the assembly. That is their concern. But eventually it is the party who makes the call. Now you talk about Gargiji and you talk about Sandeepan Saha.
Why forged signature? You have not answered my question on forged signature yet. Pointed question I've asked you on forged signatures. Were they forged or not?
And I'm answering. I'm coming to you. I'm coming to you. Madhav, have some patience. Let me finish. I haven't finished yet. Now, Sandeepan Saha is a gentleman who is a leader who has been chosen from the TMC, has been already sacked before even giving a letter to the speaker stating about the signature and whatever it is. But definitely Gargiji believes in Sandeepan Saha. He is the most honest, most trustworthy candidate Bengal can produce. So is Rito Broto. Tell her that yes, Rito Broto and Sandeepan Saha are the most trustworthy and the most honest MLAs available today in Bengal. And they are not lying.
I'm not Bill.
No, I understand.
When there was a CID, one second. Let me ask you this. At the same point of time, you must tell us, Mr. Jaiswal, when CID is inquiring this matter, why did Abhishek Banerjee not appear before it?
He is a criminal or he is the most honest person with the anti-signature schemes.
No, please, there's no black and white. All our assemblies, all our parliaments have many people with criminal records. I'm sure there are many within your party also. You should not have selected him in the first place if he has a criminal record. All right, let me get in a quick response. Shehzad, quick response, please.
You see, today you are graced with the presence of Shantanu Sen on the panel. Shantanu Sen did not quit after 4th May. He has gone when he was upset with RG Kaur and what happened to his family and daughter. So how can you call the man of such integrity? We are not taking any TMC people. My state president and my leaders have made it very clear. But you are till yesterday sending somebody to Rajya Sabha. Today you are insulting. Is Kakoli Ghosh Dastidar sold out? Please, sir.
One second. Manav Jaiswal, you have asked a number of questions. At least have the patience to listen to the response. You are asking me to be patient. Now I think it's your turn to be patient. Listen to the responses. Yeah.
But why do we have to be so discourteous? Let me complete my point. I'll complete in 30 seconds. Madhav, what about Indranil Sen? What about hundreds of corporators who have left? Point number one, again, I go back to my original line, Putra Moh mein ya Bhatije Moh mein, party is gone. Second point, Sanjay has made a good point. Sanjay Jha has once said something right. He has said these are power-based parties. Unlike the BJP, which is ideology and cadre-based, when a power-based party loses power or the leader weakens, then people move out from that party in a hordes. And this is the problem with these base regional parties. Third point I just want to complete, that when Congress takes 6 BSP MLA, even though they were supporting Rajasthan government, or RJD takes 4 MLAs of AMIM, even though they were supporting them, that time it is all hunky-dory. When Indira Gandhi breaks the party and then she forms the party, Congress party, that is also hunky-dory.
Okay.
And somebody else does it, you have a problem. We have nothing to do with it. And you tell me how many people you have taken from various parties.
Okay,
So,
important point. I want Vivek to
head of
respond to that point. Vivek, these are all parties. These are all parties that are based on power. At the end of the day, it is a fact that at least many regional parties are also personality-driven parties. Leave aside the fact that they're power-driven, even the fact that they're personality-driven. If there's an issue with the credibility or the leadership, then the entire party collapses like a pack of cards. Do you agree with that contention?
Absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. Regional parties are small state-based parties. They're personality-driven. Or parivarvad hai. And that is there everywhere. Chirag Paswan is an example of it. You have RLD with Jayant Chaudhary. That is an example of it. You have Chandrababu Naidu, who was having a legacy from his father-in-law. That is an example of it. So there are so many of them on both sides, whether it is the NDA or the India Alliance. That's the first part. So the main leader of the family goes off and the party does collapse. This is the reality of the dynamics. So we all have to agree with that. Point number one. Point number two, this Asli TMC will not survive. TMC meant Mamata Banerjee. We were against her. We feel her governance was bad.
No, but the simple question, Vivek, I don't think I was able to articulate, or you didn't understand what I'm asking. The issue within the party was about the leadership. It was about Abhishek Banerjee's role. And that is the question that all those who are leaving are asking about his interference, about alleged high-handedness, etc.
Yes. Yes. No. See, the Doodh Ka Dhula MLAs of the Asli TMC should have raised the question before the elections. तब आप बैठ करके ताली बजा रहे थे, आरती कर रहे थे अभिषेक बनर्जी की. Now suddenly you have woken up once there is a loss और आपको लग रहा है सत्ता जाएगी, बीजेपी पार्टी वैसे भी तोड़ेगी. Now everybody is saying
Vivek Srivastava,
Abhishek Banerjee is a very bad man.
Yeah, are only the MLAs saying that? MPs like Kakoli, Ghosh, Dastikar are also saying that. The point is that many leaders from the MLAs to the MPs have woken up.
आप ना लड़ते
Because they say there was a vice-like grip over them.
Sir, benefit.
Okay, we've lost that line. I'm sorry, there's a very poor connection. I apologize for that. But let me get in Mamata Chakrabarti. Mamata Chakrabarti, how do you respond to that? Was it ultimately the dissent within the party? Because here they are saying, Vivek Srivastava says, why are they waking up now? After the election, where were they before?
Well, so I'm a little confused to see why Vivek sir is backing for TMC, because maybe his party is completely in a bad position. That's why he has no other option left with, and that's why he started backing for TMC. That is something different. But Madhav, my area of concern is something different, because a strong opposition space in West Bengal is not just the state politics. It has a direct impact of India's larger political balance and national security narrative. So my argument or my point is very simple. Despite my strong criticism of TMC's corruption, allegations and governance failures, politically TMC has at least operated within India's mainstream political framework. So some of its leader also, uttered Vande Mataram in their interviews or any public occasion. So the real strategic question is, if TMC collapses completely, then who occupies that space? Because politics never allows a vacuum, right? So with rising Islamist radical influences in neighborhood like Bangladesh, especially the concern around the groups like Jamaat in Bangladesh, Bengal's political direction becomes geographically very important, as we all know this, right? So if the left revives again and become BJP's principal opponent again, Bengal may return to an ideological battle that historically carried strong anti-establishment and internationalist communist narratives. A revival of extreme ideological politics in such a sensitive border state could create long-term political uncertainty. So, India,
I think the debate is going on a very different tangent, but since you pointedly asked a question of Vivek, quick response please, Vivek.
It's about the constitution you're not following. I am not a supporter of Mamta Banerjee. But you remove her electorally, you do SIR, you play negative games, you make her lose, and once she is lost, so aap uski party tod rahe hain. There are 2 NCPs and there are 2 Shiv Senas in Maharashtra. Is it right? You don't want an opposition. एक opposition मुक्त भारत आपको चाहिए. ये डेमोक्रेसी है क्या? ये मजाक चल रहा है यहाँ पर. And all these बिके हुए असली TMC MLA, they need to learn. राहुल गांधी is a gracious man. राहुल गांधी लड़े तृणमूल कांग्रेस से, और उसके बाद जब देखा कि प्रजातंत्र खतरे में है तो गए और खड़े हुए ममता बनर्जी के साथ. And that is how democracy works, and that is how it should work. All this nonsense of justifying this असली TMC, नकली TMC, it doesn't stand any chance. आप तोड़ रहे हैं पार्टी को जानबूझ करके.
No, but that is not BJP doing this. It's the TMC guys who are leaders who are rebelling.
उसको पता है कौन क्या कर रहा है सर.
No, आप क्या ये कह रहे हैं कि ये काकोली घोष, दस्तीकार है, ऋतव्रता है, सब लोग बीजेपी के इशारे पे ही नाच रहे हैं?
Everybody is scared. Everybody is बिका हुआ. आधे बिक गए हैं, आधे डरे हुए हैं.
They were saying we were scared earlier. But anyway, quick response. Gargi Nandi Roy. One by one. All right, in fact, let's bring in Shadru Sen. Shadru Sen, I want you to respond to this. He says, आधे डर गए, बाकी बिक गए. Is that the reality? Or are there serious problems within the TMC which the party needs to explain?
I would like to clear my stand by saying I don't belong to that group who rose their voice after the declaration of the result on 4th of May, 12 noon. I belong to that group, that group consisting of very few people who, being inside the party, rose their voice against the corruptions. As I did as a sitting member of parliament in 2023 when I found Himalayan corruption took place in Arjikar Medical College, and I submitted all the documents to the highest level of the government and highest level of the party without intimating a single newspaper, single news media. Me and my wife, who is also a doctor and present corporator of Calcutta Corporation, we raised our voice during the Avaya incident and we demanded justice. That time, once again, I repeat, I was a member of Parliament Rajya Sabha. But instead of getting justice, instead of getting investigation done against these corruption papers which I submitted, rather I was removed from that particular post of Arjikar Medical College, and that accused person was brought in once again, and finally when I spoke against Avaya issue, I was suspended for 14 consecutive months.
I think
finally, when my daughter was threatened like anything, her career was at a stake, so I was forced to remain silent. So I don't belong to that group who are raising their voice after 4th of May.
Respond to that. I want Vivek to pointedly answer that question. Now, Vivek, you're nodding your head. The shameful Arjikar incident, when people like Dr. Sen, who did not care for the parliamentary seat, who did not care for what was happening, spoke up for the truth. Because as he says, his daughter is studying there. You know, even that you will say is at the behest of BJP now.
Not Vrinda Karas and Congress leaders, everybody protested. We were all against the incidents. However, क्या आपने राज्यसभा की सीट छोड़ी? क्या आपने पार्टी से रिजाइन किया? क्या आपने अपनी आवाज को मीडिया में बुलंद किया? आपने कुछ नहीं किया सर. आज आप खड़े होकर के
Vivek Srivastava, he is raising his voice for which action was taken on him. Why should he not raise his voice?
3 years.
On injustice? Entire world knows what I did.
He is raising his voice. That's his right to do so. Speaking out against injustice.
And
you're saying this is at the behest of BJP. This is also the behest of BJP.
Sir. 10 seconds only. Vrinda Karas सड़क पे बैठ गई थी. मोहम्मद सलीम सड़क पे बैठ गए थे.
आपके लीडर्स बैठ गए थे, बहुत अच्छी बात है. But the fact that people have been raising their voice within the TMC for some time, you should acknowledge that. You should also acknowledge that.
ये रहे पार्लियामेंट में, ये रहे राज्यसभा की सीट में.
अरे भाई वो जहाँ रहे, that is his call. When he's speaking up his voice, you are saying there is no problem within the party. The point is the fault lines were out there for quite some time.
You can't have the cake.
No, let me bring in Rashid Kidwai. Rashid Kidwai, you know, can you be so blinkered to say that there is nothing wrong with within the TMC, that this is all happening at BJP's behest itself?
Not really. Madhav, look, the BJP, the Trinamool Congress is in the flux. It is disintegrating. But sooner or later, this Asli Nakli debate will end. Because for a political party to survive, it needs to have a leader. It needs to have some kind of ideological clarity. So there is no space for BJP's B team as opposition in Bengal. So you have to be either go towards the left side or go and take the Congress line or take a Trinamool line. These are the three options are there before the breakaway Trinamool group and the original Trinamool group. So one of them will survive and live. So therefore, I think, see, this may settle in a week or month's time, but clarity, ideological clarity is very much there. if these people who are opposed to Mamta, if they side with BJP, obviously people, there is no...
Well, Rajiv Kidwai, I'm surprised you're saying that because of past experiences, anything to go by, there will be a long, drawn legal battle. But before I come back to all our panelists, let me quickly bring in, why this internal turmoil has happened in the first place. And let's quickly look at what has happened within the TMC, which has intensified after there was a disputed letter submitted to the West Bengal Assembly Speaker, which triggered confusion over the party's control inside the legislature. In fact, TMC leader Kunal Ghosh had claimed that the Speaker's office refused to accept a formal letter submitted by its delegation, forcing them to leave the document on the table. The TMC further states that the letter was later sent through email and speed post, and that video evidence of the submission exists. Meanwhile, the rebel camp has moved decisively, submitting a fresh letter backed by 58 MLAs seeking recognition of a new legislative bloc within the assembly. Now, in this proposal, Mamata Banerjee is named as the leader of the party, while Ritabrata Banerjee is proposed as leader of the opposition. The crisis reached a turning point when Speaker recognized the rebel faction with 58 out of 80 TMC MLAs backing the group. Now, Ritabrata Banerjee has been formally recognized as leader of the opposition, along with a new opposition leadership structure approved in the assembly. What began as an internal disagreement has now shifted into an official power struggle inside the legislature. All right, let's look at the various options that really are there, because after the emergence of this strong rebel bloc within the TMC, questions are being raised over Mamata Banerjee's next move as the party faces its deepest internal crisis in years. One possible path is to take the fight to the streets, mobilizing mass protests, reasserting political control outside the assembly. Another option is to challenge the Speaker's decision in court, seeking legal remedy to contest the recognition of the rebel faction and restore the original party structure. A third and politically difficult option would be an internal reset, including taking action against key figures like Abhishek Banerjee to address the core grievances driving the rebellion. A fourth option that's being discussed is a strategic shift for Mamata Banerjee to move to the Rajya Sabha, allowing her to remain nationally relevant while the legislative battle plays out in the state. And I'm going to take it right back to our guest from the TMC, and you have to answer this question of Manav Jaiswal. Will Mamata Banerjee bite the bullet and take action against Abhishek Banerjee? Because that appears to be the big issue with which all these rebels are majorly miffed.
Madhav, you need to give me a few seconds. First of all, it's an issue or an excuse. Abhishek Banerjee is an issue or an excuse. That's a first question mark you have to state. The second thing, when you talk to Mr. Shantanu Hussain,
please tell us which one is it.
He was a spokesperson till few days back. What was the antaratma about after the Arjikar? Where were you when the elections were happening? Who were you supporting? What happened after 4th of May? What changed in you? What changed in the integrity of Mamata Banerjee? Mamata Banerjee is the leader even for the rebels, so-called rebels.
No, are you saying you should not have spoken up for Arjikar?
Mamata Banerjee is the leader.
Are you saying after a ghastly incident like Arjikar, you should not have spoken up, Mr. Jaiswal?
No, listen.
Are you defending the indefensible today?
No. Madhav, you cannot interrupt and interject.
No, I can interrupt you, sir, because you're actually questioning somebody who has spoken up on the brutal death and rape of a young student in Arjikar. Why would you question that?
Victim. It was the saddest act that had happened in the state like West Bengal.
And people should not speak up.
Whoever was the culprit is behind the bar because of the Kolkata police.
After they first dragged their feet.
Mamata Banerjee did a Padayatra against that incident. Mamata Banerjee was the one who led.
And what is the action you took against people like him?
Girl has been raped.
And what was the action taken against Dr. Shantanu Hussain and others?
3 students has died in one of the school for punishment, and there is no media talking about it.
Mr. Jaiswal, calm down. Arjikar is an incident that has shocked the conscience of the nation, not just West Bengal. If members of parliament are coming out and speaking out about it, they will voice their opinion. And in fact, since you've asked these questions,
BJP does not punish the rapists, they reward them.
Who said that women should not walk out after 9 p.m.?
His judgment has been overturned.
Mr. Jaiswal, who said that women should not go out after 9 p.m.? Please tell us.
It was happening on one of the incidents where it was a jungle area.
Tell us who should not go out after 9 p.m. Whose statement was it?
Any girl and woman should not walk out in the jungle area without informing.
Are you defending it today? Are you still defending that statement? Are you still defending that statement?
You people have changed. Listen to me. Now listen to me. We have got the culprit behind the bars, not the BJP. BJP rewards the rapist.
Mr. Jaiswal, we've done n number of debates on accused as far as whether it's Brijbhushan Charan Singh or Kulbir Singh on this very channel, on this very show. So please don't lecture of what has happened. I don't think one horrific crime justifies or cancels out another. The BJP was questioned on those, and you will also continue to be questioned. But I want Dr. Shantanu Sen, since you are repeatedly taking his name, Dr. Shantanu Sen, answer this. He says, where were you, where was your Antaratma, etc. What really is going on? Firm refusal to even look at these issues, and RG are also not being spared now.
Kindly allow me to answer your question in two phases. Number one, yes, when I was wearing the jersey of Trinamool Congress spokesperson, that was my ethical duty to defend my party instead of not getting consent from my inner soul during several situations. I repeat, when huge number of money was being recovered from the house of a girlfriend of our former cabinet minister, at that point of time I was in a TV show. I didn't get consent from my inner soul, but that was my ethical duty to defend my party, what I did. But finally, what we did for the public at large, when on 4th May we realized that the entire public, entire voters, entire electorate, they have rejected us. So we realized that we failed to convince them, and public believed that what we are telling is wrong. That's why giving consent to my moral calling, I decided to resign, number one. And number two, my second phase is, till date, every brick and wall is crying in Arjikar Medical College. I have gone through the PM report. I am having a DNA report. Kindly allow me to complete.
What is hypocrisy? What is the hypocrisy? If somebody doesn't agree with you, they become a hypocrite.
Hypocrite.
Will you start threatening somebody's family members? One second. No, Mr. Jaiswal. No, I'm not going to let you get away with this. You start threatening family members of a person. They start talking and you call them a hypocrite.
No, you cannot stop me either.
No, but you cannot make these ridiculous comments on national television. No, not at all. The point is very simple. Mr. Jaiswal, the TMC is at a crossroads for certain reasons. It is very, very important. Everyone has covered that. You can shout all you want. You can have a meltdown. You've lost the election. Now, please calm down a bit. Taking up all these other issues is not going to in any way cover up what has happened in Arjikar. But I want Shehzad to respond to that. Shehzad.
Madhav, with your due permission, because I've not interrupted, just 30-40 seconds to articulate some points. Madhav, the most important point that everyone is still running away from is institutional party versus Parivarwadi personality cult parties. Nobody wants to address that. But having said that, I want to ask question to Sanjay and Vivek. They were saying all these things, but TMC has come out from Congress. NCP Sharad Pawar has come out from Congress. So were they doing BJP's agenda when they came out from Congress? Then why you went ahead and allied with them? Second point, they are all paying the lip service to RG Kaur. They in fact fielded candidates against Madhavdas G to defeat her, and they humiliated her. Even then they had no empathy. But having said that, let me move to the next point. See, we are very clear. Our party वो जो बोल रहे हैं मिस्टर विवेक कि बिकेंगे या डरेंगे, हमने तो क्लियर करके माधव आपके चैनल को स्वपन दास गुप्ता एंड शमिक भट्टाचार्य both have given interviews saying clearly that we do not want to do Trinamoolikaran of our party. We are very happy with what we have. But yes, the question needs to be asked that when you are insulting even a person like Shantanu Sen, I have had 1,000 debates and 1,000 differences with Shantanu Sen, but this man has left during the Arjikar time and you are insulting him, and look at the aggressiveness with which Mamata Jaiswal is speaking. I think it is an embarrassment, and this shows what is wrong with TMC, that instead of choosing a party, she is choosing Bhaipo.
And Sanjay Jha, you should also come in on this. The kind of pictures that we saw. Shantanu Sen, just coming to you, just 1 minute. Mr. Jaiswal, please calm down. We have the other panelists also. And Sanjay Jha, the question is this. Are we now going to even treat incidents like Arjikar in the manner with which we are seeing the TMC spokesperson currently trying to defend what has happened or the party's position when it comes to Arjikar? We saw those pictures where even, Ratna Devnath, as Shehzad said, was booed. There were all sorts of slogans that were chanted against her. Certain amount of sensitivity at least is expected. And is that hubris what has brought down the TMC?
Yeah, Madhav, let me tell you, I think TMC is making a mistake in not realizing that although it has lost the election, it has been voted as the biggest opposition bloc as well. And they should also remember, this is the experience of Indian politics over the last couple of decades, that end of day, even today, they have large number of MPs in the Lok Sabha. It is a political force. And in politics, I can tell you, I'm sure everybody knows, there is no permanent winner or loser in politics. Things can change. Even if the TMC is in opposition, Mr. Modi's government may be voted out in 29, and that could change the dynamic. So I think it's important when you lose an election, actually is the time when you do need to be the calmest, because it doesn't mean the end of the world. You got to regroup, you got to re-strategize and think of coming back. I think the TMC is a highly relevant political force, despite the fact that they have been defeated in West Bengal. But the problem, Madhav, that we need to acknowledge upfront, Indian politics is in a cesspool. There are criminals, there are opportunists, all people have no ideological fidelity. People switch from one place to another. We have become a marketplace. And if you operate in a marketplace by those rules, then one day you will pay for it as well.
Okay. Dr. Shadru Sen wants to respond to that. Yes, Dr. Sen.
Yes, I don't believe in disturbing the other panelists while talking, but kindly allow me to answer the second phase. I have gone through the post-mortem report of Abhaya. I have gone through the DNA report. Each and every brick and wall in Arjikar Medical College is still crying and saying that Sanjay Rai is not the only culprit. The entire documents and evidences have been removed, vandalized on 14th of August night by the instruction of the highest authority under the leadership of Didi and local MLA. But once again, I tell you with full conviction, even after all this, if proper investigation takes place, it will come as a truth that Sanjay Rai is not the only culprit. I have gone through the PM report and DNA report. Once again, I repeat it.
All right. All right. And in fact, before I come across to other panelists, let's quickly look at what really are we talking about nationally speaking, because out of the 80 total MLAs, as many as 58 are aligned with the rebel camp. It's crossed the crucial two-thirds mark of 54 required to avoid the anti-defection law. This gives the rebel faction a clear numerical advantage, strengthening its claim over the legislative party structure. Now, while Mamta Banerjee continues to be recognized as the overall leader of the party, this shift in numbers inside the assembly has triggered sharp political debate over control, legitimacy and the future of the TMC. According to TMC insiders who are speaking to Times Now, the current rebellion may not be limited to the assembly, with indications that more MLAs could soon join the rebel camp, further widening the split. There are also concerns that the ripple effect could reach in fact, the Lok Sabha. There are fears of a similar factional divide emerging amongst MPs as well. Sources suggest that unease within the party is growing, with several MPs reportedly unhappy over the functioning and decision-making structure of the organization. Veteran leader Kakoli Ghosh Dastikar has already resigned from all organizational posts, with multiple layers of dissent emerging. Insiders warn that the crisis may extend beyond the state legislature and reshape the party at the national level as well. Now, in fact, according to TMC sources, this current unrest is largely directed not at Mamata Banerjee, but the growing resentment over Abhishek Banerjee's role within the party. And they are, of course, unhappy with what they described as a corporatized style of functioning as well. Let me bring in fact, our other panelists as well. Gargi Randi Roy, what will happen in the assembly? Of course, Shehzad has answered. They're saying that they're not going to have anything to do with these MLAs. But what will happen in parliament, we don't know for sure. And also, how much of this corporatized style of functioning of Abhishek Banerjee is really the reason? And how has it impacted all these leaders? Please explain.
Yes, Madhav, this breakaway faction, first of all, let me make it very clear. They are no holy cow. They are opportunists. Why have they broken away? I feel there's one of the greatest reason is they want to play safe. They know today or tomorrow Abhishek Banerjee may be arrested. You know that he has been summoned by CID, has been summoned by ED on 15th of June for the teachers recruitment scam. And everybody knows it. His name is in the CBI charge sheet. Kalighater Kaku Sujay Krishna Bhadro spoke about it. So he will be arrested soon. And all the councillors, all of them who are now resigning, they have a reason. Why Kakuli Ghosh Dostidar? I'll tell you a thing. Kakuli Ghosh Dostidar is from Barashat. A person called Orun Bhomik, very close to Kakuli Ghosh Dostidar, who was the councillor, I think ward number 7. He has been arrested because for all syndicate and cut money, and he has been given good treatment in the jail, in the police custody. When his wife went, people shouted chor chor. So Kakuli Ghosdostidar also now want to distance herself from all these councillors and all who have done this kind of crime, who have run the cut money and syndicate culture. Same with the breakaway faction. They know the kind of crime that has happened. Syndicate culture, Manav, today if you have stayed in Kolkata, in West Bengal, in Mamta's Raj, what? If you make a building, you have to take a promoter from TMC, even if you are paying much more. If there is a waiting in your family, the caterer, maybe he's supplying you bad quality, higher charges, superior quality.
The cut money culture, the kind of culture we've seen, Abhishek Banerjee also accused of corruption and will be arrested soon, says Gargi Nandi Roy. Manav Jaiswal, respond to that. Is that what is the real concern of these leaders? That Abhishek Banerjee, who's already under investigation in multiple issues and multiple scams, is now going to come in within the grip of the law, as far as the agency's action is concerned?
Mother, first and foremost, you have to accept that we have never addressed as something great happened in Arjikal. It was the worst thing that could have happened to Arjikal, to any girl child. And our leader, Mamata Banerjee, had walked the talk. She was in Dharna and everything was happening. And when we talk about Shantanu Sen, that is why I call it hypocrisy.
No.
If he had the post-mortem thing,
we have debated Arjikar. We have moved on to corruption. Please let us not keep going back to it. Otherwise, again, the debate will lead to a heated, exchange. I don't want to waste time of our viewers. Please answer the specific question that has been asked.
Given your observation, which cannot be solicited.
No.
Madhav,
my dear friend.
Observation cannot be solicited.
My dear friend, what observation? A rape has happened. A brutal rape has happened. You don't understand that.
The women of the country.
No, but you're being very insensitive, sir. By repeatedly doubling down on that after losing an election.
On the roads.
There is something called humility.
Standing with my people.
There is something called humility and there is something called lessons being taken from the voice of the people.
You don't need to teach me.
Mr. Jaiswal, don't learn from me. You should learn from what the public is telling you. You have to take questions. If you are a public representative, learn to take questions.
You are no one to teach anyone.
No, then you are no one to. Why are you a spokesperson then?
Give your observation.
If you cannot take questions, why are you a spokesperson? Vivek Srivastav, you agree with this contention?
No.
You agree with this arrogance that's being on display over here?
No, I think he needs to be a little more humble, despite the fact that I'm agreeing with many of his points. But then he needs to be respect and he has to answer questions because we are all there to answer the questions. Now, what Gargi Nandi Roy is saying is absolutely correct. Yes, there has been major corruption. People are scared. As I told you, aadhe darte hain, aadhe bikte hain. There is no issue of Abhishek Banerjee. BJP is an absolute majority. So the BJP doesn't need any more MLAs. Unlike the problem in Maharashtra, where they needed to spend a faction. Had they been short of 50-60 people, they would have taken this so-called upscale.
Okay. I would have just very quickly refer to some of those splits before I get in a response from Shehzad and others. Across Indian politics, in fact, we've seen these splits and rebellions that have happened across parties. We've seen in Karnataka in 2019, where rebel MLAs stopped the Kumaraswamy government, bringing BJP to power. In Madhya Pradesh 2020, Jyotiraditya's exit with 22 MLAs collapsed the Congress government. In Maharashtra, Eknath Shinde and Ajit Pawar led major splits in Shiv Sena and NCP, both later gaining official recognition of the factions. And in recent ones, in 2026, AAPs or Rajya Sabha MPs switched to BJP, while AIDMK has witnessed post-poll factional division in Tamil Nadu. Now, Shehzad, at least in the first set of examples, the allegation has been that it is the strong-arming, the misuse of agencies, etc., which has caused these leaders to cross the political line and come ahead and support the BJP. Your response to this Sam Dam Dandbe sort of allegation coming in from Vivek Srivastav?
Madhav, all 60 MLAs have criminal cases against them, including 17 Muslim MLAs. They are all being threatened. And Madhav, you know, when I first saw the story that 60 people are not going, then I was thinking, ki aisa kya ho gaya? And then suddenly Ritubrata said, ki we are requesting Madam Mamta Ji to become the advisor. So then I said, Arey, Abhishek ke saath khela kar diya Mamta Didi ne. Mamata Banerjee is now kicking out Abhishek through back route. I think the real conspiracy is that Mamta wants to get rid of Bhatija, but she can't do it herself. So she has taken the route of Ritubrata. So I will advise and Vivek Ji, I just want to ask my dear friend, he's my good friend. Vivek, in India Alliance, who will come for the meeting? Will it be TVK or DMK? Will it be Mamta or Ritubrata? Have you decided? Or are you going also on 8th of June?
Absolutely.
Okay.
सब आएंगे, DMK भी आएगी, टीवी के आना चाहते हैं, आ जाओ. इसमें क्या?
Okay. Open invite to all. Rashid Kidwai. Rashid Kidwai, quick closing comment. Rashid Kidwai is also smiling.
Yeah. So I think, Madhav, this is a serious issue, and we need to have serious answers to this. See, all those breakaway groups that you mentioned earlier, they found a character, like they took a political position. Here is a case of TMC. You see, the breakaway group is behaving like, rat in a sinking ship. And they are just leaving. They are not saying they are pro-BJP. They are not saying they are pro-Mamta. They are not saying they are pro-left. So they have to find a character. In politics, you will survive if you have a character. And that is why I'm saying Indira Gandhi, Sanjay Gandhi survived for facing similar and a far more sort of, onslaught. See, they need to have a...
But, Ritabrata is someone who's not having, the first time he's rebelling. He was in the left earlier. He rebelled there and then came to the TMC. Now he's rebelling within the TMC. So his own track record, of course, is under a cloud and under question. But of course, perhaps that's how Bengal politics is at the moment. And this is just a reflection of that. Shahzad Poonawala, Dr. Shantanu Sen, Gargi Nandirai, Mamata Chakrabarti, Manav Jaiswal, Sanjay Jha, Vivek Srivastava and Rashid Kidwai. Thanks so much for joining us on this edition of the National Debate.